You guys, it's time to finish the daily. It's part 606, where we're learning to be a better gamer, but getting a little cheesy. Woo! Getting a little cheesy today. You ever cracked a wrist? Feels damn good. Woo, baby, 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 baby. Yeah, we've been looking at these timings, we've been looking at some of these early pushes and that sort of thing. And by and large, the games we've looked at have been kind of cheesy. I'm doing a one base all in, and it's a really smart, well thought out one. Hope it works. These are the sort of things that we've seen. What if you wanted to have something that has a little bit more of a big pressure bent, as opposed to a big, holy shit, I gotta win all in bent? That's what we're going to see in this next game. Now suppose that you, the young budding Protoss player, said to yourself things like, okay, I've recorded my timings of some early expands, I've recorded my timings of the Reaper. Gosh, I mean, but what about some more normal play? I need more data. Well, cool. You can do things like this. This is the game that we're actually going to be watching from Naniwa's perspective in a moment, but let's step on over to the Lucifron cam. What does Lucifron do this game? Okay, he goes barracks first, refinery, and then he throws down a command center at the front of his base. Ripa. Here comes the command center. And then he pulls back and he goes reactor. And then he goes for an engineering bay. And in fact, he moves right on down to ramp. I mean, he builds his bunker. There's the extra barracks coming up. And there's the move down at the ramp. Isn't that nice? Doink. Okay. Nice. Lucifron did the same build that we've been seeing out of him. 3 games in a row we've seen Lucifron do this. So we can begin to say things like Reaper, expand, fast +1. You can say things like 630, 8 Marines, a Reaper, and maybe a bunker. I'll just go ahead and write it down. 8 Marines, Reaper, and a bunker. And good things are going to happen. We're actually going to see Naniwa. Oh, look at this. 7:30. Oh, wow. 7:30 again. What's going on at 7:30? Well, 12 Marines in a bunker. You know, it's kind of funny. Here we had, with Reaper expanding to mine drop, 12 Marines and a bunker with 2 more racks building. Here we have 2 more racks done, but sort of comically, they have not built anything yet. So here's the racks finishing up. Tech Labs, amazing timing on them. And then they finish up. So that way by 7:15, they still have not done anything when this attack moves in. We can see how this very different build, Reaper expanded to fast +1 plus barracks, still has the same vulnerability at 7:30. Same vulnerability at 7:30. And this 9 Marines, that would be 11, 13. This should have 15 Marines. So we can see 7:30, stim starting 15 Marines. 12 Marines in a bunker. 12 Marines in a bunker. It's all kind of the same early on for a lot of these builds. So Naniwa is able to exploit this by moving with a lot of gateway units and bring in the noise, bring in the pain, winning yet another good game. But what the hell was happening behind that? The whole motivation to this game was to say, okay, well, if we know some of these early timings for attacking, how would I do, say, a build where I'm not actually trying to win the game? I'm just trying to gain an edge in the game. So let's go ahead and analyze this build, game 3 between Naniwa and Lucifron. Very aggressive builds, very fun builds, very smart builds. 13 gateway, 14 assimilator. I will note that this is a significant enough thing to go 14 assimilator, because when our cybernetics core finishes, we'll have 150 gas instead of 100. Pylon placed to both hide tech and to get spotting vision for drops. Some good work repairing, some good work chronoing, some cybernetics core, construct a nation. So ordinarily you'd have 100 gas, but now you'll wind up with a little bit closer to 150. I guess it's like 132, but damn it, round. So Naniwa, ooh, nice early Nexus. This is a nice timing to move down as well, because if, you know, Engineering Bay annoyingness happens, you can just go Stalker, Mothership Core. There's the Mothership Core, and there's the Warp Gate. How nice to be able to do both of those. Second gas en route. Things looking goot. Everything's pretty much been built up in the main. Was that a Reaper that killed things off? You betcha, man. I mean, Naniwa is just, he's just defensive right now. Single Stalker comes out. Now, normally, there's a lot of units that pop out of this initial gateway. Zealot and a couple Stalkers, but just clearing the path with the Mothership Core, trying to get the probe out. Stalker chilling back in production tab. Oops. I'm going to pull back to this moment when the Warp Gate gets started. I'm going to chill by this Warp Gate. I know that there's like not a lot fancy going on. Chrono boosting of the Stalker. No chrono boost going on here. What about when this Nexus is done? Well, when Cyber Core is halfway done, 1, 2, 3, on our Warp Gatesies, second Stalker gets chrono boosted out, and not much else. Nothing over here, just one. Just one little old chrono boost. This is not actually a super hyper fast Warp Gate push. It's not going to finish at 6:05, it's going to finish at 6:35. Round to Zealots. No probes being produced. Round of Stalkers. And what a nice number. 6 Stalkers. Oops, gonna pull back before a Stalker died. 6 Stalkers and 4 Zealots. Why do these numbers please us so greatly? Because 5 shots from a Stalker, 10 damage each, means it will kill both a Marine and an SCV in one volley, because it's 50 damage. You lose 1 Stalker, you can still do the 50 damage needed. So it allows you to just one-shot Marines really easily, one-shot SCVs really easily. The Zealots get in the way so the Stalkers can really do the nice damage. And Zealots being morphed in all the while. No probes building, no probes building. 3 in each geyser, I think might seem a touch excessive, but this is definitely going to do damage. And we can follow up all this gas with actually a sentry push to deal a little bit extra damage and try to close the game out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Kinda smelly, so I sprayed some Febreze. And, yeah, that's all she wrote. Not going back to pro production at all. You totally can. You can totally go back to pro production with this. This 4-gate push is like not all any at all. You can even just not mine out of this gas geyser and put the probes to mining there, and you can still build 2 probes a minute, which will then lead to several more probes a minute. So that's that. Some nice aggressive builds, some nice easy peasy ones. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we should get to the Markio question grabber and we should take some questions. Let's do it. Marky. Is that the right one? Yeah. Refreshing. Markio Choa. The infamous. The inimitable. Subscribers on. I'm F5in. Feel free to ask me questions with the Dear Day 9 prompt. When does HGL come back? This fall. Manbon says, Day 9, will you be doing a daily that explains these builds' weaknesses? I can actually just explain it kind of simply right now. The weaknesses of these builds are... I think that like Lucifron's build has some sort of especially annoying vulnerabilities because, you know, if you are, say, going for Reaper into regular Expo play, like just getting the barracks up pretty quickly and then moving onward, you'll have more Marines and you will take damage, but you won't die. But when you go for fast +1, these things strike when the +1 is like almost done. If you went for mine drops, you'd at least have the mine there. Yeah, I think most Terran builds will have a lot more comfort against these, but will still likely take damage. But yeah, the big vulnerabilities are that if they go in and they only do kind of damage, then suddenly the Protoss is in a position where he doesn't have a lot of infrastructure. He'll generally just have gateways, or he'll be low on bases. He'll certainly be low on probes. So it's in those spots that it's kind of like, this is why Protosses are like, I'll just play defensive. Dude, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. A delay 909. Thank you for signing my shirt at MLG. It's my pleasure. I actually don't think... Did we, like... We met when I was walking backstage, I think? That rings a bell. Hamlet Dynamics says, how far into the game does this method of listing timings sort of dissipate because there are too many variables? It lasts for a surprisingly long amount of time. Because even though there's a lot of variables, there's... Having good macro is what creates all the sort of restrictions. That sounds like a weird statement, but I'll give a really simple example. Terran player gets 5 barracks up, all with add-ons. Gets a starport with medevacs. And is taking a 3rd base. Really common Terran mid-game. You, the Protoss, built some Colossus, 2 with range specifically, and now are rapidly transitioning. Sabin, don't scratch my chair. Hi, Sabin, kitty. Come here. Come here, Sabin. Sabin the cat. Sabin the cat. Look at me, about to answer an amazingly well-worded answer, or well-worded question. But then I found a kitty. Say hello to everyone, this is Sabin. Yeah, what's over here? Oh my god, I moved the desk from yesterday. It must be a completely new desk. Yeah, what a good kitty. Look at this cat's ass. Let me tap over here and see. No. Cats do not like me, man. Anyways. That typical Terran mid-game, 5 barracks all with add-on, 1 starport with add-on. We the Protoss, 2 Colossus with range, and now we're rapidly going into Zealot Archon. You might say something like, oh, well, Terran will just instantly build the Ghost Academy and then just start going ghosts. Or wow, you know, he's building too many claws. Well, the Terran can just instantly get another starport and start adding on stuff to it. Well, what happens is the Terran player can't stop macroing. He can't stop building a whole bunch of Marine Marauder all the time. So if you think about how long it takes a Ghost Academy to build, StarCraft 2, go. Terran Tech Tree, Ghost Academy. Oh, does it not have it there? I want to say it's either 45 seconds or a minute. Should be a little under a minute. Ghost Academy. 40 seconds. Cool. Yeah, so it takes 40 seconds, and then you have the ghost build time. You have to get the Mobius reactor. So, I mean, you can say things like, if you have caused the Terran to build a couple of Vikings, when you reveal this Zealot Archon play, you have a window of about 2.5, 3 minutes where you're safe from EMP. Nothing to worry about. So if you can perhaps get an attack in there, then you're in good shape. And you're safe. Now the natural follow-up question to that is, well, what if the Terran player already had ghosts, or had started building the Ghost Academy earlier? What about that situation? This is why I mean because macro is the biggest restrictor. Because if the Terran player is trying to both go for Vikings fast and go for Ghosts fast, then he just doesn't have enough Marine Marauder. And suddenly your Speed Zealots will just overrun him. And it doesn't matter that he has Vikings to kill the Colossus and, you know, Ghosts to snipe the Templar. You kill him because your macro's too good. So I will say that they're not exact timings. It's not like he can't have Ghost till 16 minutes in the way that it's easy to say he can't have Stim until, like, you know, 10 minutes or so. But you do get to say things like, I am safe from blank for 2 minutes. Oh, he can't get an expansion up for 4 minutes. Those sorts of things. That's it. That's the end of the show. I know I'll take one more question. Why not? Adam Burrich says, Day 9, if you're trying to beat a Terran player to aggression, how do you deal with, say, a one-base Terran all-in kind of strategy? With these, I believe the question is a little bit more of just like, what about if Terrans go on one base all-in, and this happens? You can just do some transitions back to something a little more typical. You can, for instance, like if you open up one base as the Protoss, you're going to have a lot more comfort. You can do things like if you want fast Robo, you can just throw down a Robo Bay and get a really fast Colossus, and now you're like totally safe versus 90% of all-ins, even if it is in an awkward position. You can, a lot of these attacks still work. Like for instance, if he goes for fast Banshee and do a 1-1-1 push, the Banshee should be popping out around 7 minutes, and Cloak should maybe be finishing around then, but it's kind of easy to just rally back to your base. Most often it's easiest to just push his front, and he has to keep everything there, and you instantly kill him. Trying to think of some of the other ones. I mean, most of the time you're just hitting him at a really vulnerable spot anyways. Should be okay. You're kind of screwed if he's going for like proxy 2 racks and you didn't scout, but it's fine. That's it. Now I'm done with the daily. For any of you wondering how this works, there's the green screen. So what you do is you say, here's the range of all colors that I want you to blank out. So there's chroma key. Let me make sure I have my settings good. So like 31. So for instance, if I have a really tight range, you'll start to see some flickering there. If I open it up too broadly, like this, it doesn't quite filter out enough. It's filtering out the greens, but it doesn't know how sharply to do it. So I'm just increasing the green range. Pretty cool, huh? I can even become transparent. Let's see. So for instance, I could make blue the chroma key color. I could like switch it like that, and now this nice blue, it looks for blue, and it replaces each, or it just makes each blue pixel completely transparent. Isn't this nice? Yeah. So if we wanted to, say, make it a red color, now it's my face, because my face is far and away the most red thing, and my arms. Green screens are fun, so I just make it green. Actually, this is far and away the coolest. Guys, thanks so much for watching Day 9 Daily number 606. Where you can see my teeth. This is terrifying.